Let's try 2,000 miles. Florida Keys. Hey, before I get going, I want to thank you guys for a couple of things. I've lived the last 5 months in pajamas. It is wonderful to have an excuse to dress like a real person this evening. Also, there is no alcohol allowed in the Hope Lodge. Thank you so much for that cocktail. Very nice. Hey, as Jameson said, my name's Scott. My particular sport this year has been the fight of my life, kicking cancer's butt division. My team has been the ACS and Hope Lodge. I'm a singer, songwriter, entertainer. I'm living in the Upper Florida Keys, coming all the way to Boston for my treatment. Was not a choice. It was a necessity for me. I was diagnosed with a rare form of bone cancer after what was supposed to be a routine operation. My surgeon had never heard the word chordoma, and by the time of my follow-up visit, my wife and I knew more about it than he did. With only 300 cases occurring per year, and half of those being treated at MGH, I immediately began the process of scheduling appointments, dealing with insurance, finding out my options, locating a social media group, applying for a clinical trial, searching financial aid options, and finding my medical team of doctors. I decided to go with the treatment plan they prescribed, which Susie, my wife, asked the obvious question. He's feeling fine. You're gonna make him sick to make him better? Well, that's how it works. I was proactive from the get-go. I spent almost 3 weeks worth of days on the phone and computer. It was all set up, except for a place to live. During the months of radiation, the surgery, and then the radiation again. I had been out of work since the original surgery. Our meager savings, along with Susie's career, allowed us to meet the insurance deductibles, and we were okay so far. But that was it. We were facing the inevitable pileup of medical bills, travel expenses, and phenomenal lodging and living costs. I don't have to tell any of you how much a short-term rental costs in this town. When I first heard of the Hope Lodges of New England, I wasn't cynical, but I was skeptical. I'm a firm believer in the adage, you get what you pay for. The Hope Lodge had no charge, no deposit, no parking fee. All that was required is that you were a cancer patient in treatment. I spoke with them the next day, and fortunately, I had confirmed hospital dates, a good estimate on radiation treatments. I knew which days to request. They were able to put us up for the last half of my initial treatment. We scheduled the first half of our stay at a local hotel, looking forward to moving halfway through. 4 days before we left Florida, Hope Lodge called with the news that the rest of our dates had cleared and we could just move in. If you can try to put yourself in my position at that moment, to feel that level of joy, not to mention gratitude, at such a troubled time, it's a really big deal. Because of the generous support of people like you and like-minded groups which keep the Hope Lodges in operation, I could now focus on getting better instead of scrambling to cover my bases. Ooh, you see what I did there? That was a different sport analogy. Hey, we have a packed car. We dropped our cat Sugar Bear off in Atlanta, fostered him with some dear friends, drove to Chattanooga to visit family and friends, made our way to Boston. We pulled in on my birthday. I want to go ahead and say this about the Hope Lodge right now rather than leading up to it. I was in desperate need of help. If I was going to keep the rest of my life on track, the Hope Lodge was there for me. If I was independently wealthy and could afford private upscale medical suite with private nurses, if I was a doctor at MGH and was diagnosed with cancer, the Hope Lodge is where I would want to stay. It's so much more than a place to stay. Being social is not a requirement. But for the patient and the caregivers alike, if you want to talk, somebody's going to listen. If you want to listen, somebody will tell you their story. The fact that everyone is going through their own deeply personal struggle results in an openness and a willingness to share that is rarely found in normal life. So much so, I actually had to get used to that fact and check myself when I got home. Out in real life, people don't always want that level of detail. The place itself, the building, it's amazing. We were like deer in headlights at first. We got the quick tour, we were shown to our room, which was wonderful. Small living area with a couch, TV, a 2-bed bedroom, bathroom. The weekend manager explained that it was not a hotel room. We live here now. And he was right too. In the second week of my treatment, I finished proton beam therapy, and Susie said, "Scott, how are you feeling? What do you want to do?" I said, "I'm kind of tired, I want to go home." And realized right at that moment I called the Hope Lodge home. Besides our room, each floor has its own living room, big TV, self-service janitor closet, fully stocked with supplies, thanks to generous donations. Laundry room, ice machine. Community areas include a large screen theater room, game room, multi-purpose yoga room, crafts room. There are 2 library living rooms, one with a baby grand piano. Hand sanitizer on each floor, right at the elevator. Offices on 2 floors for your use. All because of generous donations. An outdoor kitchen, or an outdoor courtyard with herb vegetable planters grown by the guests. And then there's the kitchen. Imagine a full kitchen. Maybe like the one in your home. Now double the appliances. 1 gas, 1 electric. 2 microwaves, 2 sinks, disposal, dishwasher. Now make 4 of these kitchens. 4 of these double kitchens, and put them in the corners of a large dining hall. There's community cabinets, fridge and freezer for all. And for those who are leaving and do not wish to waste food, each resident gets their own fridge, freezer, and cabinet space. You eat what you need or want to, when you want to. There is a grocery shuttle van at least twice a week, and there are specific kitchen protocols that maintain an extra high level of cleanliness. Most new residents figure it out and cooperate, even if it's not how they do it at home. The community cabinets I already spoke of. The volunteers come in and provide dinner for the whole house weekly, if not more often. Now, the kitchen is usually the center of activity in most houses. The Boston Hope Lodge's kitchen is no exception. Might even take it up a notch. With the length of stays involved, it's inevitable that you get to know the people, and likely that you'll make new friends. It offers a break for the caregivers when they need it, and a chance to relate with others experiencing similar situations. You begin as a new resident, taking suggestions and learning from those that have been there, and then you find yourself a week from the end of your treatment helping the new person to figure out the kitchen protocols. It's a little bit like dorm living, somewhat like a fraternity sorority house. It's not assisted living, and it is not a retirement home, although there is a bingo night. I was thrilled to ask to speak this evening. I hope my words have been able to share a more personal, first-hand idea of what the Hope Lodge experience is with you. I hope they've inspired your continued support of the Hope Lodge program. That's why we're all here. But most of all, when they asked me if I could speak, I jumped because this was my opportunity to personally thank you. I found myself in need. The Hope Lodge was there. Thanks not only to the American Cancer Society, but because of folks like you. Thank you so much.